Respect is not taken from you in one moment. It's taken in small pieces, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. Every time you say yes, when your mind is screaming no, you give a signal that says, my boundaries are flexible, my needs are optional, my respect is negotiable. And the scariest part, people don't even realize they're disrespecting you because you trained them to. So if people don't take you seriously anymore, if they ignore you, delay you, use you, overlook you, it's not random, it's patterned. And today, you're about to break that pattern because these are 5 things you must start saying no to if you want your respect back. Let's get one thing straight. Saying no doesn't make you rude. It makes you clear. And clarity is power. See, people don't respect you because you're nice. They respect you because they know where your limits are. And if you don't have limits, you don't have leverage. The more available you are, the less valuable you become. Not because you're worthless, but because humans are wired to value what feels limited. So if you're always there, always agreeing, always adjusting, you're slowly lowering your own worth in their eyes. 1. Say no to being available all the time. This is where it usually starts. You reply instantly. You pick up every call. You adjust your schedule for everyone. At first, it feels like kindness, but over time, it becomes expectation, and then entitlement. People stop asking and start assuming. Of course you'll be there. Of course you'll help. Of course you'll say yes. And just like that, you're no longer respected. You're used, because what is always available is never valued. Look at your own life. Do you chase what's always there, or what feels rare? Exactly. So why do you think others are different? When you make yourself constantly available, you remove your own importance. And the painful part, you start noticing the imbalance. You respond in seconds. They respond in hours. You prioritize them. They fit you in when they're bored. And deep down, it hurts. But instead of changing your behavior, you try harder. You become even more available. That's the trap. Respect doesn't grow from overgiving. It grows from controlled access. You don't need to disappear. You just need to stop being predictable. Because the moment people realize you're not always reachable, they start respecting your time. 2. Say no to disrespect disguised as jokes. It's just a joke. That sentence has protected more disrespect than anything else. A small comment, a sarcastic remark, a subtle insult, wrapped in laughter. And what do? You smile. You laugh along, even when it hits you, even when it lingers in your mind for hours, because you don't want to seem sensitive. But here's the truth most people avoid. If something hurts, it's not just a joke. It's information. Information about how someone sees you. And more importantly, how much you allow. Because every time you tolerate it, you reinforce it. You're silently saying, this is okay. You can do this again. And they will. Not because they hate you, but because you didn't stop them. Respect is not destroyed in big moments. It's eroded in small ones. A comment here, a jab there. Until one day, people don't even filter themselves around you. Because why would they? You never gave them a reason to. Saying no here doesn't mean starting a fight. It means shifting your energy. A calm response, a serious look, or even silence. That feels different, because when your reaction changes, their behavior changes. And if it doesn't, then you've just learned something even more important. Who never respected you to begin with. 3. Say no to over-explaining yourself. This one is subtle, but powerful. You say no, but then you explain, and explain, and explain, trying to make sure the other person understands, trying to make sure they don't feel bad, trying to make sure you're still liked. But what you don't realize is, Every extra explanation weakens your position, because it sounds like justification, and justification sounds like doubt. Confident people don't over-explain. They state, clearly, simply, directly. I can't make it. I'm not available. No, that doesn't work for me. And then they stop. No long paragraphs, no emotional essays, because they don't feel guilty for having boundaries. But when you over-explain, you shift the power. You put yourself in a position where your decision feels negotiable. And people sense that. They push, they question, they try to change your mind, not because they're bad, but because you opened the door. You don't need a perfect reason to say no. You need self-respect, because the moment you realize you don't owe everyone an explanation is the moment your presence becomes stronger. 4. Say no to one-sided effort. This one drains you the most. You text first, you call first, you check in first. You remember everything, their problems, their moods, their needs, and what do you get back? Less effort, less attention, less care. But you keep going because you believe, if I just try a little more, they'll match me. They won't, because people don't respect what you give easily. They respect what they invest in, and right now, you're doing all the investing while they're just receiving. And over time, that creates imbalance. And imbalance kills respect, not just theirs for you, but yours for yourself. You start feeling tired, unappreciated, emotionally exhausted, but still, you don't stop. Because you're afraid that if you do, everything will fall apart. And maybe it will. But ask yourself this: if your effort is the only thing holding it together, was it ever real? Saying no here means something simple. Stop over-giving. Match energy. If they give 50, you give 50. If they give nothing, you give nothing. Because respect grows in balance, not sacrifice. 5. Say no to the fear of losing people. This is the deepest one. The real reason behind everything. You don't speak up because you're afraid. Afraid they'll leave. Afraid they'll change. Afraid you'll be alone. So you tolerate. You adjust. You shrink. You accept things you know are wrong, just to keep them. But here's the truth that changes everything. If someone only stays because you have no boundaries, they're not staying for you. They're staying for control. And the moment you start saying no, they might react. They might pull away. They might get upset. Not because you're wrong, but because you're different. And different is uncomfortable for people who benefited from your silence. But that's not loss. That's clarity. Because the right people, they don't leave when you set boundaries. They respect you more. They adjust. They understand. So if someone walks away, after you start respecting yourself, you didn't lose them, you outgrew them. Deep emotional truth. You didn't lose respect overnight. You lost it slowly. Every time you ignored your own feelings. Every time you chose comfort over courage. Every time you said yes when it cost you something inside. And the hardest part? You knew. You felt it, but you stayed quiet because it was easier than facing change. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. Protection of your time, your energy, your identity. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They don't push people away, they reveal who belongs. Because in the end, people don't respect kindness alone, they respect limits. So now the question is, where are you still saying yes when you should be saying no? Which one of these is costing you your respect? Decide today, because the moment you change this, people will feel it. And more importantly, you will feel it. Comment enough if you're done being taken lightly. And follow if you're ready to take your power back.